In late May, the murder of George Floyd sparked a wave of protest across this country, with people demanding that we finally address the systemic racism our country was founded on and which continues to exist to this day. George Floyd's death was not the start of this movement, as there have been people fighting for America to truly live up to its ideals since almost the very beginning of our nation. But perhaps we have finally reached a tipping point where the call for change cannot and will not be ignored. The current movement has reverberated at all levels of our society, and even though Imagine has always been an organization dedicated to serving a marginalized community, we are not immune from this movement, and we recognize that we have a lot to learn if we want to become an active partner in making change. So first, let me state unequivocally and for the record that Imagine stands with Black Lives Matter, and that the Imagine Board of Directors is in full support of Imagine participating in this movement. We are beginning the conversations necessary to make Imagine a fully inclusive organization. These conversations are in the early stages, as we want to do this the right way, in a way that will have a long-lasting impact, positive impact on our organization and our community. We need to start with being students of the issue. But just because we're in the early stages of this conversation does not mean that we aren't ready and starting to move forward. A group of engaged employees has formed the Imagine Black Lives Matter Coalition, and they are exploring ways to include the entire Imagine community in their efforts. They are already well on their way in planning a celebration of solidarity, which will be a visual display of support of the Black Lives Matter movement at various Imagine locations, with art contributed by both employees and individuals and services. The event is tentatively scheduled for August 29th. That date has historical significance to the Black community, as it was on this date in 1957 that Congress passed the nation's first Civil Rights Act in more than 80 years. Look for more information on this event soon. The Imagine Black Lives Matter Coalition is also exploring ways to create educational lessons on Black Lives Matter for the people we serve, and is looking at ways of ensuring that the demographic profile of the leadership at Imagine accurately reflects the demographics of our employee and client base. And speaking of leadership, the members of the Imagine executive team are in the process of a learning exercise as well. We're reading and watching content about the BLM and the larger issue of race in America. We're hosting discussion groups to share what we've learned, but more importantly, to take what we've learned and discover how it applies to the work that we do here at Imagine. I'm very excited personally to see where this will go, and I promise to keep all of you informed as we move forward. So in closing, I want to be transparent and tell you that we don't yet have a clear roadmap on where we are going just yet, or what we will accomplish, but I do know that we will commit ourselves to being a productive force in this movement on behalf of the community we serve. I encourage those of you who want to be a part of this conversation to step up and join in. This social justice movement impacts all of us.